Hello students. I'm sure you are safe at home and learning your lessons well. Well, today we shall see in Unit 3 how the economic factors led to the revolt of 1857. The first cause under this is economic exploitation. The main occupation of the Indians were agriculture and industries. Industry was ruined under the company's rule. Deindustrialization ruined India's handicrafts, and a large number of weavers and craftsmen became jobless. India was made to accept ready-made British goods either duty-free or at nominal duty rates. Indian products were subjected to high import duties in England. And so, India became a cheap market for the British finished products. India was unable to compete with machine-made British products. Do you know the reason why it was unable to compete? Because British had industrialization which had taken place. India prepared everything manually, and it was the cottage and the basic industries which were in India. So the ratio was 10:1. While the British made 10 products, the Indians made only one product. The second reason is we shall now see how the draining of wealth by the British affected the Indian economy. What happens when a country's wealth is drained? Ultimately, the economy goes down, as we are facing a situation in the present days. Well, the second point is the drain of wealth from India. The East India Company and the other free merchants always brought gold to the colonies like India for the purchase of local products like cotton and silk. But after the Battle of Plassey, the British practice of bringing gold was stopped by the order of authority. Henceforth, the company started purchasing Indian products from the surplus revenue of Bengal. In this way, the company started the process of plundering India's resources and raw materials for the development of the motherland. For this, India did not get any returns. This system was called by the historians as drain of wealth. The drain covered items like salaries, incomes, saving, and presents received by the officials of the company, private trade of the servants of the company, purchase of military goods, interest on debts, and what not. The drain of wealth was ever since 1757 totally put India into a poverty condition. Gold, silver, and other raw materials were thus drained out of India. Well, we have learned the second cause under the economic causes. The key word is, what do you mean by drain of wealth? What did the company purchase? What did they bring to India? The next cause, decay of cottage industries. More importance was given to the British industries rather than Indian cottage industries. By the middle of 19th century, the export of cotton and silk goods from India ceased. This threw many of the artisans, weavers out of jobs. Thousands of artwork such as spinning and weaving became extinct. The next cause, economic decline of the peasantry. The peasants were discontent with the official land revenue policy and consequently lost their land. In fact, it was a peasantry that bore the heavy burden of taxes to provide money for the trade of the company, for the cost of administration and wars of the British. For example, in Bengal, the land revenue was double the amount collected under the Mughals. Not even a part of this revenue was spent on the development of agriculture or on the welfare of cultivators. This put many of the landowners into trouble. This money was taken by the British for their welfare, and hence the economic decline of peasantry added to the economic causes. Let us now see how the peasantry faced a lot of problem, and India is still facing the unemployment level right from the year 1757. Is India facing unemployment today? Yes, of course. There is both unemployment and underemployment in our country. What do you mean by unemployment? Unemployment means no jobs. Underemployment means a qualified but not got a suitable job. Well, we shall see in this growing unemployment among the masses during the year 1857, which led to the Great Uprising. The traditional rulers supported the scholars, preachers, and the men of art. But with the onset of the British, they lost their patronage who depended on it. By the policy of annexation, many soldiers, officials, and judicial posts became unemployed. The next cause was inhuman treatment of the indigo cultivators. The peasants were forced to grow indigo, which was a profit to the British trade. If they disobeyed to grow and growed food crops, the punishment was very severe. Added to this, there was a lot of famine between the years 1765 to 1857. Natural calamities, and thus India led a poverty condition during this particular period of time. The last cause, the decline of landed aristocracy. The hereditary landlords were deprived of their estates. According to the Inam Commission 1852, 20,000 estates were confiscated when the landlords failed to produce evidences such as the title deeds. These lands were put to public auction, and the highest bidder would purchase these lands. These were usually purchased by the merchants and money lenders, thus leading the landed aristocracy to poverty. Well, the key word over here is, what do you mean by Inam Commission? When was it introduced? And what were the terms according to it? Well, we have seen how the economic causes resulted in the Great Uprising 1857. This cause helps us to rethink. 1857 and 2020. The economy of the country, which drained the wealth of India in the year 1857, the country was economically hit due to various factors which happened in India. But comparing now to the year 2020, the economy of the world is hit. It was one country and now it is the world. You know the reason. It is because of the pandemic COVID-19, where there is a total lockdown in the whole world. We need to be with this situation, so what we need to do for the future depends on each one of you. You got the whole world to develop, especially your country. Think and rethink.